Hey, what's up, guys? We're live. We're actually at a pop-up right now, so I kind of just stepped out from that to do the interview here shortly. Ninth inning, he just jumped in, actually, so just go ahead and hit that request. It'll split the screen, and then we can start the interview as soon as that goes down. Thanks to everyone who's tuning into these. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions you'd like to add in, any comments, just drop them down. We'll make sure we can try to answer them for you. Again, we try to make these segments about 20 to 40 minutes depending on the person. Tonight we're probably going to make it closer to 20 just because of the fact that I have to get back to the event. But ninth inning is hopping in right now. So we're about to, as soon as he comes in. Carlos, what's good, bro?
You hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm in like a parking garage right now, so there might be a little issue there. But we're doing a pop-up right now. So I had to kind of step out to the side just to do this. So I'm just in my car right now.
That's sick.
How's your day been so far, bud?
Not bad. I got to go out and thrift, hit up a few spots. Haven't done that in a while.
Cool.
School's bugging.
Yeah. So let's just start there first off. So you're Miami based, but you said right now you're in school. So where are you currently for school?
I'm in school in Iowa. So
In Iowa, okay.
Recruited to play in Iowa a couple years ago, so I'm kind of back and forth. I go back in the summer in December to Miami, and then during school time I'm out here.
Okay. What part of Miami, or not Miami? What part of Iowa are you in?
It's Dubuque. It's right in the corner. So like we cross a bridge and we're in Wisconsin. I cross another bridge and I'm in Illinois. So it's pretty sick.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, my mom actually lives in Des Moines. So I've been there a couple times, and I'm trying to go out there. Next time I go out there, I can potentially link up with you. But I'm also trying to go to Iowa City because there's that store Vice. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
No, not. What I'm familiar with Iowa City is fucking partying. That shit gets lit.
really? Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
at least there's more to do than just the store. That makes me look forward to it. But yeah, dude, definitely check them out. It's Vice Iowa City, and then you can also look up one of the partners within that is Iowa Thrift. I don't know if you follow him.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah, he's pretty dope. He found those all those Kmart Supreme blanks like about a year ago. That was pretty cool. But we have him coming on to talk about that in a couple weeks as well as their store. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I gotta show love to the Iowa homies, man. I gotta pop
For
up.
sure. Yeah, dude, next time I go to visit my mom, we'll link up and we'll do a little like Iowa trip. We'll make a video out of it or something and do like trips to thrift, go to the different shops.
There's bins over there, right?
In Florida?
In Des Moines.
I don't know, dude. I've actually when I went thrifting to like a Salvation Army and stuff, but I didn't check for the bins.
Yeah, I was looking up bins like by this area, and I think the nearest ones were in Des Moines. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, we'll hop in real quick to the questions. So real quick, just give us a run through. Just give us your name, age, and then where you're from, if it's different than where you're based currently.
Yeah. So my name is Carlos. I'm 20 years old, and I'm from Miami, Florida. And yeah.
Okay. And then tell us, kind of just tell us about your brand a little bit and how you got into it.
So I kind of been thrifting my whole life because like I would fucking thrift for toys as a kid. And then I started getting into sneakers in high school, and I would thrift for sneakers. And somewhere around like senior year in high school, I took some of my jerseys and shit to this sneaker shop in Broward called Sneaker Union. And dude, I basically like they cashed me out there, and I was like, damn, like this is all shit that I can find consistently at the thrift.
Right.
So from there on, like I got in contact with those people, and I was basically supplying them for a while, for like 6 months. So I would just like thrift during the week and then go over there on Friday, make some money, and just buy sneakers with it, honestly.
Right.
But Yeah, then I was supplying people in the UK for a while. And when I got recruited to come to Iowa, um, I saw that I was going to be able to make a lot more money through eBay, and I kind of hopped on there. But before that, when I was selling to the store, I had found a polo piece, which is like basically the best find I've had. And this piece, they wanted to give me like $60 for it, and I was like, I had just started, so I didn't know how much it was worth. And then
Right.
I sent it to Sean because I've been watching fucking Round Two since it started, and he's like, "Yo, that's like a $400 piece. Like, I'll give
Jeez.
you 350 for it." I was like, "Damn, dude, there's so much more money in this if I step out and I stop being a supplier." So that's kind of what I did, and I started eBay there, and then I came up north and just kept it going. And haven't stopped since, basically.
And what like what year would you say you started? Well, I know you said you've kind of been thrifting forever, but like what year would you say you kind of started supplying for people, and then what year
But
did you start like maybe doing like transitioning over to more of like a thrift page?
yeah, so I started supplying like in 2015. And I think I started my page in like early 2016, my
Okay,
Instagram,
cool.
and I was selling through there for a while. And yeah,
So, dude, it's really funny that you actually said like growing up you used to thrift toys and stuff
yeah,
because I didn't really go to the thrift too much growing up, but I used to go a little bit with my grandma, and I remember she would always give me like $5 to like find whatever toys I wanted, and that was like her point was like the fact that with $5 I could get so much stuff, and I just remember getting so many like little Hot Wheels cars and like Lego sets and just all sorts of dope stuff. So it's interesting that you said that you kind of used to do that as well.
yeah, dude, I was hyped. I remember I had a birthday like I think the second year we got to this country from Cuba, and for my birthday, my parents woke me up with a fucking garbage bag full of toys, and I was like,
Right.
damn. So
Right, dude.
then,
I
like,
think I remember that
yeah,
was like a thing. You used to go and fill a bag with toys for like a certain amount of
yeah,
cash. Or
that was so lit back then. And then like
yeah.
from there on, like it was like fuck Toys R Us. I'm not buying like $20 Ninja Turtles. I'm gonna go to the thrift, buy a pack for 3, and get like 15 Ninja Turtles inside. So
Right. Exactly. Um. Okay. Cool. So question number three, it's a two-part question. It's what's your favorite brand, and then who or what store is like your favorite resale shop?
favorite brand, I have my phases where like I'll wear different stuff. Like I just had a Reebok phase where I wore like just straight Reebok for a while for like 3 4
Okay.
weeks. I think overall, I think it's Fila just because like it's so
Yeah, I think
nostalgic to me. Because
isn't that what you're wearing today? The Fila.
yeah, yeah, I'm wearing
That's
Fila.
sick. Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, dude, my dad and most of the pictures that like I used to see of him in the '90s and shit, he was always rocking Fila, like the bubbles and all that shit. So especially when I got into sneakers, Fila wasn't like where they're at now. Like back then, it was probably like 6 7 years ago. So uh, yeah, he would show me like sneakers, and it was really hard to find like the bubbles or pictures of them and shit. And they started bringing them back, and as soon as they started bringing all that stuff back, I bought like basically every single like retro Fila model there is. So
Right.
there's has a special place in my heart, but I definitely rock with everything. I have a little bit of everything in my collection.
Yeah. That's cool. So yeah, Fila and Reebok. I like that, dude. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't say that. And I like kind of
Yeah.
the story you have behind the Fila. That's really cool. One brand that like really speaks to me a lot is and it's interesting because they just kind of got a little bit of hype too, but I swear like no one used to know about it unless you played soccer was Kappa for sure.
Yeah.
I remember always rocking Kappa when I was playing soccer as a kid, but then my dad we always had like a hoodie or like a t-shirt or something laying around. Um, but yeah, it's interesting hearing that. Okay. Number question number four is if you could pop up anywhere next week with perfect conditions, where would it be? Anywhere in the world, basically. Next week, you know you're going to be able to bring all your cool inventory. There's going to be a line out the door, people waiting to come in and buy stuff. Where do you want to pop up?
Dude, I think I'll do like Disney or some shit. Like, how
Disney.
lit would that be? Like, in the middle of Disney, you do a pop-up shop. Like,
And which one? Do you want to do Disneyland or Disney World?
I think Epcot. Epcot is more like growing
Oh,
like
Epcot. Okay,
sell
yeah,
beer there, so you know you can have people get lit and buy some cool shit at the same time. So
that'd be dope. That's an interesting answer, dude. I like that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, okay. Normally my business partner is with me, so we kind of like pass these questions back and forth. Have you seen? And this is kind of more of his question, but he's out running our pop up right now. So I'll go ahead and say it. But it's another two-part question. What are your short-term goals with your business, and then what are your long-term goals?
Yeah, so short-term goals right now is to branch out of eBay. You know, join different markets, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop. I'm kind of dabbling with Depop right now, but yeah, just basically branch out. Not because I've been growing, but like very brutally. Like I haven't been
Right.
organized. Just been buying more shit and selling more shit. You know, I want to
Right.
get more organized and expand my platforms. And then long-term goals, kind of make it a family thing. So like my parents, they see how like relatively little I work and how I'm able to maintain and have some extra cash. So I think they want to join once they escape a financial situation they're in right now.
Right.
So I think that'd be cool, like long term, just doing the shit with my parents, buying like a fucking RV or something, and just traveling, thrifting, and selling.
Yeah. That'd be so sick. Yeah, dude. My dad actually he lives over in Europe, but he thrifts a little bit while he's over there, and he'll send me packages here and there. So it's kind of cool having your family like be on board and almost also be interested in it too, not just being supportive.
Yeah, that's sick. Like my mom probably thrifts more than me when I'm up here in college. Like she's in the trenches, just sending me pictures while I'm in class and shit. And I love it because when I get back, I just got to list it all. And it's like a
She
few
lives
hundred
in my
things.
she lives in Miami.
Yeah, yeah. We're from
Okay, cool.
Hialeah, so it's like I don't
Oh,
know if
I've
Hialeah
heard of that.
is
Yeah,
considered
I've
Miami,
heard of
but
that.
it's like it's right there. Yeah. So it's like I don't
Oh,
know if
I've
Hialeah
heard of that.
is
Yeah,
considered
I've
Miami,
heard of
but
that.
it's like it's right there. Yeah.
Dude, you know what I heard in Hialeah is apparently there's a big vintage warehouse that you can go and buy. You can go and buy bulk at. You have to spend like I think like it's a minimum of like $1,000 or $5,000, but you know you go and get those '80s band tees for like $5 a piece and stuff. So
Yeah, there's a few of those, and the thing about those is that they already have like the people that they're supplying to. So it's kind of like when you join at this stage, you're kind of just gonna get the scraps.
right.
That's basically they supply a bunch of people in Europe, they supply a bunch of people in New York, California, and shit. So it's hard for someone that's somewhere in the middle to get shit, especially when these people have clients that are giving them $30,000 a month and shit.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because those people I'm sure get first dibs. You know, whenever they drop a new batch, whenever they get 8 new crates in, those are the people
yeah,
they notify first. So yeah, definitely.
what's crazy is that like I think the stuff that they have is pulled from the United States, and then they take it overseas. Not overseas. They take it to like the Caribbean, to Haiti, um, I think Nicaragua and shit like that. They sort it out over there, and then they bring it back here. So I don't know how that process is efficient to them, but it works because they do pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. Okay, hold on. Someone, let's see. JC snaps. The pop up is still going on. Nick's there. Go and buy some stuff. If you guys have any viewer questions, throw them up so that we can ask Carlos, and just ask him anything. About the vintage culture, about his brand, whatever you guys want to know. Let's see another one. Let's see. Talk about give me like 1 to 3 of like your best finds ever, and like they don't necessarily have to be from the thrift. Maybe you came up like dude, I bought this really cool shirt off someone's back one day, you know what I mean, and ended up flipping it. So whatever it may be.
Yeah, mines are from the thrift actually. So, actually, about a month ago, like the week before I came up to college, I was thrifting with my girlfriend, which I've been doing it with her since I started, and she found a mosquito head, and it was it was a Marilyn Monroe mosquito head, and it had like different pictures with like it was very like emotional. It had like a picture of her when she died, a picture of her with the Kennedys and shit, and that was sick. I picked it up for $3 and I sold it at 320, like in a day. It was, I mean, five in a day, and like it was stupid how much attention that got. I had never seen something like that before. Um, and
Those
then
things are, man, they're super hot right now, especially. I mean, I think they always have been, but yeah, everyone's after them
yeah,
right now.
I think I discovered it kind of late because if it wasn't for someone like messaging me and asking me, "Yo, is that a mosquito head?" I probably wouldn't
Right.
have known.
Dude, I had no clue until probably like 6 months ago. I didn't even know, to be honest. And I really don't even know too much history about them. I just know that they're a hot item, and I wish I had a
Yeah,
shit ton to be able to provide people with. But
yeah. I
someday.
wish I knew the history too because it's like if you look at the different mosquito heads, they're all printed in different shirts and shit, and they're none of them are like exactly the same. So it'd be cool
Right,
to like know the history behind that.
right,
But yeah, I think besides that, the polo piece that I was telling you about that kind of branched me off of being a supplier from that store.
right.
I've never seen anything like that. Like again, it was like a knitted sailing polo piece, but it had like the clips of like a fireman jacket, and it said RL93 and a patch in the sleeve, and
Damn.
it was like a three colorway thing, and that piece was fucking sick.
I think I can kind of picture it a little bit. It's
Yeah,
pretty sick.
I think I've reposted it a few times on
Okay.
my
I'll
IG
see if
and stuff.
I can find
Yeah.
it.
And I think shoes, like back in the day when before I started reselling, it was just I'd find so many shoes at the thrift, like it was ridiculous. And champion jerseys, like it's become so hard to find champion jerseys. And I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, like it'd be impossible to not find one, like at the thrift, at least in Miami.
Right.
And yeah,
Dude, yeah, I feel like in Florida we are very blessed. I don't know, we find a lot of sports stuff. So I think
yeah,
it's because Florida's a big like melting pot. So we find a lot of sports stuff, not just specific to Florida. Like we find New York stuff, Baltimore, like all up the East Coast, Philly, a lot of Texas stuff, California. So I feel like we're pretty lucky in that way in Florida.
no, yeah, that's definitely true. And it's there's more money in Florida too. Like it's at least in Miami, there's a few wealthy people. The shit they donate is usually a little better. Like,
Right,
some of the stuff that I have to settle for here in Iowa to make, $5-6 a profit is like, but you got to do what you got to do.
right. Okay, so we just talked about a couple of like your best finds and whatnot. Tell me what like one thing that's on your personal grail list.
Guess striped tee. Like, I haven't been able to find one. Like, I've been dying to
Any?
find one. Yeah.
I see.
Huh?
I mean, obviously, well, I don't know. You probably want to like thrift one, right? You're not trying to like spend money on
Yeah,
one.
no, no. Oh, I want to thrift one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
I
was
have
gonna
one
say
that I
I
bought.
see them all the time. If you want one, my man, we can definitely get you one.
I have one. Um,
Right.
I have two of the retro ones that they did like probably like 6 months ago. But yeah, I'm trying to thrift one.
Yeah, same here, man. I'd love to. I always find like newer guest stuff, but no, I've never found like a stripes. People love them.
Yeah.
Let's see. What? Okay, I think you kind of already answered this. I think it was with the polo piece, right? But maybe something else. What's one thing that you sold that you wish you could buy back?
Um, well, the polo piece, of course, because I feel like I could go for more than the 350 I sold it to Sean for. But
Right.
um, I'd say sneakers because like I would buy a ton of shit when I was in high school and just sell it off, and I kind of wish I had it because what happens is that now I'm finding myself going back and buying a lot of stuff that I ended up selling. So
Right. Same. Same. Like literally tonight at this pop up, I sold this guy like a retro like '80s surfing like competition shirt from Hawaii, and it's one of my like favorite shirts out of my personal collection. I brought it out tonight just to see if someone would buy it, and he did. And I told him straight up because he said he's only gonna wear it for tonight for this '90s party. He'll never wear it again. I was like, dude, come back and I'll buy it off you for $20. Because I think he spent 40 on it, so I was like, it'd be like only renting it for the night for
yeah,
20. So hopefully he does that, and I'll be able to get it back because I really dig that.
yeah,
It's the one if you look on I think, yeah, if you look on the World Thrift page when we were actually in Miami for the grand opening,
Yeah, for the round 2 episode, right?
yeah, it's that
Yeah.
T-shirt. Yeah, the one I'm wearing on the round 2 episode. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's decent. That's a nice piece.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love
So
it like that, like hella colorful and screens like 80s and stuff. Like
that's been my
I
new
use,
thing, dude. Is yeah, just like super like this T-shirt right here, just like
yeah,
mad color.
yeah, I love shit like that. I like looking like a fucking traffic sign when I'm walking. Like I'll wear
Right.
like, extravagant like surf style shit, and especially like up here, people don't wear that. You know, maybe in
Yeah.
Miami I buy with it, but people here don't wear that. And I don't know, it's just funny to get the looks that I get like over here because of the shit that I wear.
I think yeah. I think the fact that we're from Florida, it has a lot of influence on that with the color palettes and stuff. Because
Yeah,
just like California, like things here, it's all about being very vibrant. Like we grew up next to all these surf shops, all these surf styles, like all these stores that like every single T-shirt in there is like a white T-shirt with every single color you can imagine on it. So that's obviously it has some kind of effect on us. I feel like in some way.
yeah, definitely.
Um, Okay, let's see. What do I have left? Okay, so what's your another two-part question. What's your biggest pet peeve when dealing with customers, A, and then B, maybe when you're dealing with like another reseller?
Um, Customers. I don't know if this includes customers, but like eBay return policy, it's oh my, it's so stupid. Like every 2 weeks, you'll find me ranting on my story about it. Um, like people complain about this dumbest shit, or they'll lie about something
Right.
and turn your piece. Like you'll send out a brand new piece and you get it like fucked up, and then eBay's like, no, we can't do anything about it. So it's like, yeah, that gets me mad every time it happens. And seller wise, like reseller, I don't have any problems with any resellers or anything that anyone really does, honestly.
Yeah, I try to just be like pretty friendly with most people in the community. I would say like my biggest pet peeve though is I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people they get too big of a head on themselves when they hit like sometimes it's only like 1,000 followers, but like at the end of the day, we're all just I'm a human being, you're a human being, and I think it only benefits us all to kind of come together and utilize each other, ask each other questions. You know, like I'd love to know someone who's willing to share all the Mosquito Head knowledge with me, and I'll share all the whatever knowledge I can with them. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of times people like to shut themselves out in this community and try to be very just exclusive or whatever. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's only gonna it might work for them. It works for some people, but I feel like when most people are trying to follow a platform that someone like Round Two has set, that's kind of everyone that does this. So it's all every single person I talk to. That's what they want to do. They want their shop. They want to be at that level. And one thing I can tell you is those guys definitely didn't get there by hiding behind a camera. They literally put themselves out. They made a YouTube show. You definitely have to let people in on who you are and let them connect with the brand in more ways than just the clothes.
Yeah, and
And
you
then
kind of
also
have to be open to hate.
connecting like how we are. It works in so many ways because you can come to Tampa now anytime and know that you can come to a pop up with us. We could come to Miami, link up with you. We both know we have connections in Iowa, so that's like another way we can benefit. So to me, I feel like it's only good to come together with the other people and just make the most out of the big community that we do have because no matter what, there's a million people who sell vintage and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, and it's like you kind of have to be open to hate. Like no one's gonna like what you say. Like,
Right.
I think in one of the interviews that they did with Sean or one of the other guys, they talked about like selling vintage clothing at SneakerCon, and that was like at the like top stage of like at the peak of sneakers, in my opinion. Like, how much hate could they have gotten like selling old thrifted clothes at a sneaker event? Like, just think about that.
Right.
People weren't looking for vintage clothes at that time, and they still kept on going, and they fucking became Round Two now. But it's
Exactly.
like you know, and that collective mentality shit. Like I'm always preaching that. Like we're gonna get farther if we think collectively, if we help each other out. You know, all that competition bullshit. I make more than you. You this that. Fuck that. That's not gonna get you anywhere. The only
Right.
thing that can get us is one person having fucking most of the shit, and everyone else left fighting for the scraps. We have to think collectively, and we need to help each other out in this shit.
It's true, man. I mean, if you meet Sean and them, you'll know, like, they're very nice people. For it's crazy the fact that, I think a lot of it has to do with, people think it's crazy that that you can still go into their stores and they're still working in the stores. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they know that drives traffic. They know that brings people in. But beyond that, like, when they are in the store, they're very open. They talk to you. They'll give you tips. Like, they're very nice guys for sure. And I definitely think that they're definitely people to look up to and kind of look towards when structuring, like, if you want to do like make a successful business. I think theirs might not be the only path, but I definitely think that they've definitely set something in stone and made it public for people to go and be like, look, this is what I want to do. I kind of just have to follow this template that they've literally put on the internet for us. And that's kind of what I almost want to do here is with these interviews. Like, not only are we going live, but we're recording these and uploading them to YouTube so people can go and watch these all forever. You know what I mean? People can always get that little bit of knowledge out of every episode, whatever it is. And, hopefully it helps them. And that's really all we want.
Yeah, that's one of the things you said about like Sean and them. Like, if anyone has the right to have a big head in this shit, is the people from Round Two, because no one has done what they have done, and they don't. They're like the most humble people out there. They'll talk to people who are up there, and they'll talk to people who are down. They'll talk to fucking everyone, and they still do what they love. They're still buying behind the counter. Like, that sets like that should be a role model to everyone else in the business to not be a fucking big head, you know.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we sell vintage, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. And it's like, you kind of have to be open to hate. Like, don't
look towards when structuring, like, if you want to do like make a successful business. I think theirs might not be the only path, but I definitely think that they've definitely set something in stone and made it public for people to go and be like, look, this is what I want to do. I kind of just have to follow this template that they've literally put on the internet for us. And that's kind of what I almost want to do here is with these interviews. Like, not only are we going live, but we're recording these and uploading them to YouTube so people can go and watch these all forever. You know what I mean? People can always get that little bit of knowledge out of every episode, whatever it is. And, hopefully it helps them. And that's really all we want.
Yeah, that's one of the things you said about like Sean and them. Like, if anyone has the right to have a big head in this shit, is the people from Round Two, because no one has done what they have done, and they don't. They're like the most humble people out there. They'll talk to people who are up there, and they'll talk to people who are down. They'll talk to fucking everyone, and they still do what they love. They're still buying behind the counter. Like, that sets like that should be a role model to everyone else in the business to not be a fucking big head, you know.
For sure. Yeah, man. I mean, they are pretty great. Like I said, when we were in there, I got all of them except for Sean. He was too busy, but I was able to get Luke and Chris to follow our page. And, I'm trying to get one of them, if not a couple of them, on this show, dude. And I truly think that's something that's achievable because, like you said, as big as they are, they're definitely very humble guys. And, that's something you can only respect and appreciate.
Yeah, I have no doubt that they'll be down to do that. Like, those guys seem like they're cool as fuck. And yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. We'll see if we can get some of the round two guys on here. So I'm going to run back to the event, but I've got just one. Let's see. Yeah, I've got one last question for you before we go. So outside of the thrifting community, who's your biggest influence? This could be like your mom. This could be a celebrity, a musician. This could be your pastor. It could be anyone. But just someone outside of the thrifting community that, someone that motivates you, someone or something that motivates you.
I wouldn't like individualize it into like a person, because there's not like one person that really motivates me. It's just
Yeah.
like my major is philosophy, so just reading philosophy constantly is what motivates me. I don't know. It's probably fucking weird to hear on this interview, but like that's my motivator. That's what I
That's
do.
cool, man. That's why we like to do these, to see what, what sets every person apart and what makes them different. Um, Me and my business partner, we both went to school too, so I think I've taken like a class or two on it, so I didn't really get to dive too much into it. But that was definitely a class I really enjoyed, so I can definitely see that, dude, and that's pretty cool for sure. It's definitely
Yeah,
something different.
it gets your brain activated like constantly. Like you'll leave
Right.
a classroom and it'll feel like you went to the gym and you got a nice pump. It's the same thing, but with your brain. So
Right,
I
exactly. It's a positive, and like it's a good use of your time. Like me and my business partner, anytime we're relaxing at the house, like I don't know, I'm not trying to watch like some bullshit. Like maybe I'll throw on some bullshit TV show if I'm trying to laugh here and there. But I usually try to watch some kind of documentary, some interviews, Shark Tank, all that kind of stuff is really cool. Shark Tank, The Profit, Bar Rescue, all those kind of things. Very business oriented, but stuff like you said that kind of like keeps your gears going and like keeps your mind going as well.
yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, dude, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate your time. Like I said, we're gonna have this recorded, and I'll probably have it up on YouTube within about a day or two, and then I'll get you that link, and you'll be able to share it with all your followers, and people can watch it whenever from then on. But other than that, is there anything you want to say before you go, or any shout outs or anything you want to give?
Well, that's it, man. Thank you for letting me be on here. I think what you're doing is cool as fuck. I've seen every episode you've done, and it's just great. It's setting a spider web in the community. It's just fucking bringing everyone together, whether they're low or high. And I think that's the ultimate goal, and that's what's gonna make the thrifting community a lot better.
For sure, man. Yeah, that is one of the main points that I try to mention on every episode. Is that one thing I do like to do is get people on here that have a lot of following and people that don't have a lot of following. Like last week, I had a buddy of mine. He has only like 200 followers, but dude, the motherfucker's got heat. I've made 2 purchases off him this week, so definitely go check him out. That's episode 2. Um, but yeah, for sure, dude. Like I really appreciate you coming on, and like I've been telling people, we might be doing like second episodes with people where we touch base. So we'll stay in touch, and maybe we'll do another episode, another segment in like 6 or 8 months, and that one will kind of be about like where you were in the first interview and where you've come since. I think it'd be interesting for people to see.
Hopefully, those short-term goals turn into present goals by then. So
Exactly. That gives you the motivation to make it happen.
yeah. All right,
Yeah.
homie.
All
Well,
right, man.
thank you for
Good
this.
night. All right. Take care.
Peace.
See you, buddy. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. This was episode 4 of World Thrift Live with Ninth Inning. Go ahead and give them a follow. We're gonna have this up on YouTube here shortly. I've got to go back to the pop-up. If you're local, come shop. We're here. We've got the heat. If you're not, check out the story sale. We've got a bunch of stuff, and we will ship it to you. Thanks to everyone who watched. Tune in to the next episode coming soon. Thank you again.